Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing Azorius adjacent Bant, Azorius kind of control artifact construct printer deck, kind of whatever you want to call it, that makes construct with synthesizer being our primary key piece to winning the games. This enters the battlefield at scries 2 whenever another artifact with mana value 3 or less or 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control. We make a 0/0 construct that gets a 1/1 for every artifact we control. Why am I playing Azorius? As you might call, I've been uploading Esper artifacts because I like the removal more, but I have come to the conclusion, or other people have as well, that I think mono black shells, or shells that kind of have black as their primary colors, are going to come out of this rotation from Blue Burrow pretty well off, unless Blue Burrow has something to say about it. But right now, mono black seems like, with all the cards rotated out in a way, as I've been playing decks for rotation, seems like just the strongest build. And Azorius artifacts can kind of counter that build in a way, as Go for the Throat being mono black's primary source of removal. We get to play all artifact creatures and dodge the fact that Go for the Throats are now dead cards in their hand. Another card is pretty dead in their hand is Cut Down. So that's 7 cards out of the deck already that doesn't quite get the job done against us. Or even some other things where it's like sack a creature. We don't really care. We have a ton of constructs, so Liliana is not as valuable. Our top decks are really good, especially whenever we have a Vault online. So there's a lot of things that I think this deck has to offer whenever rotation happens. So here we are. We're playing a rotation safe version for the most part. I have Odawara and Ganjo and Boseiju in here. You can very easily trim them. I also have Field of Ruin in here. Demolition Field, which I guess I can just do that right now. Demo Field, if it'll come up, land. This one is not rotating and it does pretty much the same thing. So we can just trim those. The only thing I'll say right away is that I'd probably just play one more copy of the Vault anyway, because I think I, for whatever reason, only played one. I think it's supposed to be this technically, but I did it backwards for some reason. Outside of that, we are just playing artifacts. We're playing a little bit of control and 3 steps ahead, but we're using this as a versatile card, whether it's to copy a synthesizer that's in play or at times copy a World Walker Helm. This card is a little underrated. We don't see it much today, but this card does have a lot of value and it's definitely worth putting in the deck, because whenever this is in play, this acts basically as another synthesizer in a way. But if you have a construct made, now this can copy that construct every turn. We don't necessarily have to have a 3 mana or higher artifact enter the battlefield. And we're playing Bant to play Cornucopia. Cornucopia, as you'll see today, put in a massive amount of work and showed why that we basically have to splash green to play it. It demands to be played, and I think today shows that off. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy the matches. Let's just go out there and game, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Let's just head out there and construct some people. Yeah, I go first. This hand seems like pretty solid. Especially, it kind of like curves well in a way. It's like not a perfect curve by any means, but protection, Grand Spider, pretty sick. Kind of a matchup I'd want it in, even though Phoenix Chick not ideal for a spring-loaded trap, but if they play a Felden, that's a little less ideal than a spring-loaded trap. What do we got? I guess if they like monster trades just Phoenix Chick and stuff, then I feel pretty good. They do a slick shot, huh? Sure. Now I'm in an interesting spot. I could just do a whole lot of nothing, but I think Braided Net's to play here. Because then now I can kind of like tap down this slick shot, and sure, they might pump like this Phoenix Chick to the sun, but I'm not that concerned about it. Picnic Ruiner. I don't think, well, they can still slick shot me here, so relax. We'll tap this when we get to combat just in case. Like, might as well here. Getting to Unstable Glyph Bridge is probably the move. Now, whether or not I get there, it's a whole nother story. But let's play Cornucopia. I can now use Spring-Loaded Trap. I have Braided Net as protection. And then I can start playing these Thran Spiders. I will gain 1 life off this Ancient Cornucopia to the Spring-Loaded Trap, which is what's kind of nice. Twist Spear, sure. What do we got? Phoenix Chick, sure. Playing to it. At this one. So they attack with Picnic Ruiner, like, I'm just gonna Spring Lure to trap it, which is exactly what we wanted. Land, then we probably just barrel on this. Unstable Glyph Bridge, solid here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and set up my mana though for one more turn. They make one of these, which is fine. Braided Net can then tap the flyer, and then Thran Spider can start picking apart some of these Phoenix chicks. And then this comes in and works pretty well with what we got going on. Especially like if it starts hitting well. The only fear is it hitting bad. Like 3 steps ahead is pretty kind of... Oh yeah. That's kind of gross. Power Stone allowing them to plot. Combat, then just tap this. Because I might be looking to flip this depending on what I hit off the top deck. Wow. Maybe they have Monstrous Rage? I mean, I'll take it. I have a big giant bow here that says, hey. Yeah, +2, oh, like, sure. I'll take the trade there. Even though they could technically, like, slick shot, and then pay to bring this back, I suppose. Yeah, but I can then play second Thran Spider and then play Market Gnome, or can I play this plus Market Gnome? Not quite. Yeah, let's play this. Not a fan of constantly allowing this stuff to happen though. And then I have no mana to really commit to anything else, so I am going to go ahead and craft here. I want to keep my mana, so I'm going to flip this Saw Blades away. And then maybe we'll look to activate this. But with this Phoenix Chick in the air kind of being the way it is, attacking with a 1/1 counter on it, I can chump here, I can chump this, you chump this. Like either way, they have to give it some toughness, or like I'm throwing bodies in front of it, then Market Gnome's getting thrown in front of the Swift Spear. But then the attacks don't necessarily make sense because Phoenix Chick isn't coming back. But like, just having my reaches is pretty nice. Now, I could lose to like double Witch Stalker Frenzy, I suppose. Or maybe they're willing to make this exchange. I could see that. But I'm definitely still blocking though. There's like 0 chance I wouldn't take this block. So I'm blocking here, here, and then here, I guess. If I would like to gain life and draw a card, maybe I'll find something. Might do something to trample over this Market Gnome. I don't think End of Festivities exiles, right? No. Sure. So they Monster Rage the flyer, which is fine. It's not really fine, but like as fine as it can be, I guess. A land here, an additional Market Gnome. It's all looking kind of tough still. Okay. Chill, big dog. Unstable Glyph Bridge. Gain my life. You say we'll keep this one around because that's the only thing that makes sense, and then I'll play this Market Gnome. They're down to 3 cards. I have a kind of a solid blocker. This doesn't give trample, I don't think. Now they hit a land, which is actually in a weird way bad for them, because now they just need the cards to close this game out, and hitting a land kind of slows that process down, which is great for us, obviously. But a little part of me wants to activate this Braided Net next turn. I could bring up the Unstable Glyph Bridge. Whenever they cast a spell, they can't attack. Face down card. Sure, so be it. Synthesizer is a great draw. Wow. Can I do both of these? I don't think so. But I get to scry, and I can activate the... Oh, that's pretty sick, huh? Good. Nah, cause I would like to scry a little bit more. Yeah, let's gain life. Here. Scry 2. Might Stone, Weak Stone's a pretty good card to have put in my hand. I might... At that point, then, I should just craft this, I think. Because now I get to make a construct and everything. So this comes in. Now I have, like, extra protection. It's a flyer. I have an 8/8. I have an 0/3. And then next turn, I draw this Might Stone, Weak Stone. I play it. I shoot a creature. And then I should be able to get this to resolve. I don't want to do the math, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 plus 2. I guess I'm a little short. But it already, now they won't be able to attack me. They play with fire in my face, looking to flip this guy, I think. They definitely are getting close on the spells. Actually, they're pretty far away. I think it's like 6 mana. So it's reduced by 3 right now. Sure. It's reduced by 4. I will pay this ward to get rid of this. I'm not that concerned. They keep on top. Oh, they have my power stone tokens, right? I like forget that that's a relevant thing that happens. I'm at 5. I don't know how I end up losing here, but well, I do know how I lose here, but toughness wise, let's just get rid of this, I guess, because the power is a little bit different. Make another construct on the back end. I can go to combat and I can attack with this. I might as well attack with this. Just really put them on having it, I guess. They block, which doesn't really help my case, I think. But them blocking, I think if they just had lethal, they wouldn't care. Interesting. Hopefully it's not just a land like play with fire, lightning strike after we already seen 2 play with fires in here. But they did keep on top. And if they cast a spell, they cannot attack. So it's not like a creature can get in here. I think it's just anything. When an opponent casts a spell during their turn, they can't attack you or planeswalkers. Yeah, so even if they cast like Slick Shot, it's not like they can then pump it and then add the Miriam Bone Splitter to it. But it's a long-winded way of them just playing a land and then killing me with their spells. Ooh, Swift Spear. This triggers right away. No attacks. Allowed. Sure. Fugitive Codebreaker. Sure. I will draw 10 cards. Sure. I would argue that that's a good game, yeah. We can Might Stone, Weak Stone, get one of these out of the way, and then one of these constructs will hit, and then my flyer will hit here, so I can play this, put it in play, sack this, put 5, -5 here. This will be 10. Or I guess it'll be less. Well, no, it'll be the same because since size will make a token. Then my 5/5 will hit, and then my 10/10 will also hit because I can only block one of these, and we end up winning from there. Very cool. Very cool. Ah, wow. No white mana here, so this is definitely a maul. This is a keep, and I think more flexible. Might need this to catch up though. Play this. Just pretend like it's a basic plains. We're playing a rotation deck. Uh-oh. Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I keep saying that. We need a Thran Spider now. Well, we'd actually need multiple, right? Because this will get menace. Well, we put this on a creature on the ground. A hard cast. They're going for the kind of play now. Yeah. I'm in danger, chat. I'm in danger. Especially if my lands are going to be this painful whenever they finally allow me to work. I'm at 15. Try to. Mirix. I don't even want to keep you. I don't even have to, I guess. Bottom both of those. I need to find something a little bit better. Even though it's probably not coming. But I can play this, maybe pop a couple of creatures, maybe pop their one creature, and then hopefully maybe craft this with maybe this. And then have a 5/3 flyer that kind of hinders their turn. I guess I would craft it with the Market Gnome. I wouldn't craft it with the Foundry. There comes a Swift Spear. So that actually helps out a lot. Weirdly enough. Because now I can just select a Swift Spear. And thankfully it's not big enough to cause the problem here, I guess. Ancient Cornucopia. A card that I'm not going to get to play right now. So let's cast the Glyph Bridge. Glyph Bridge happens first. So we select for the Swift Spear to survive. And then they'll draw a card off Ruckus, of course. But now we make a 5/5, have an 0/3, so we can double block if a Ruckus comes in and gives us Menace. And they're stuck on 2 mana. If we can get this Cornucopia online, along with like drawing a couple of spells that have a color on it, then we're looking pretty good. Other land's not good for us, though. I still think my plan is to probably craft this unstable Glyph Bridge to this Market Gnome. Especially if they don't get super burnt heavy here, because that creates a bridge for us to get through. Sure. Not playing it on the backside. Interesting. Thought maybe they would consider doing that. They can get rid of both my creatures here if they try hard enough. They have like a monstrous rage or something. I can... Ancestral Anger. Just barreling it now. Trample. Interesting. I think I know my plan here. Just absorb all this, absorb that, and then craft into that, because I'm not guaranteed to draw something. I do draw that though. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is not enough. So I think I have to do this. As much as I'd love to play the Cornucopia here, drawing a second Cornucopia is huge though. That means I get to make a construct and then make another construct next turn. And if they cast a spell, they cannot go to combat. And if they declare attackers, they cannot cast any spells. Each opponent who's attacked you or a planeswalker you control this turn cannot cast spells. So they either have to cast a spell and then take the turn off, and then I load up on constructs, and then even gain 1 life in the process. Or they go to combat and then they can't cast a spell and I get free blocks, and that's not what they want. Sure. Ancestral Angers, when they can't attack me, perfectly fine. That on the stack, I would assume means they're reading it for the first time. Who knows? Maybe their plan is to just set up for next turn. They just read the card, but it still applies. You cannot attack me. They did not enjoy that whatsoever. That's pretty funny. Let's get our Cornucopia down. Make a construct. Let's get another Cornucopia down. Make another construct. I would like to gain my 1 life. Yes, thank you. At 7, I'm willing to attack here. I'm going to force them into a spot where they have to consider blocking, or they have to kind of, if they attack me ever, they have to kill me. Especially with like a little bit of extra damage coming over the top, because this also makes a map on attacking, which will actually grow these a little bit, which is quite sneaky. But unless they give a creature Menace and then pump it to the moon, I'm not too worried. They could play land, Monstrous Rage, Demonic Ruckus, and then like fling the creature, I guess. Not playing it on the backside again. Kamano coming in. They could be disguising that they're tapped out. A vault. Interesting. Interesting. If I attack with 2, they're forced to block with 1. Absolutely forced to. If I attack with 3, they have to block 2, correct? Yeah, because they can let 1 through. They cannot let 2 through. So if I attack out, they're forced to double block. Or not double block, but they have to block something. And then I can hold the anchorage back. Yeah, I like that plan. Skip them in. 1 block. 2 blocks. Yep. And then now those are gone. They have 1 creature to operate with. And then they have this turn to win, pretty much. On 3 mana, I like my chances of surviving, especially when I have an anchorage here. Sure, declare it as an attacker first. Bring this up. Now they could obviously lightning strike this, but then that's not 3 damage going to my dome. Block here. Even Monstrous Rage and another nonsense. Like, I feel pretty confident that adding 3 extra life to my life total is going to be fine. At 6, I am a little nervous, to be honest. Another Monstrous Rage does not grow it quite as much as you would think it does. Did Xaxes? I think it might have hit. Did you get it? Oh no. Sick. It's so close, but I'll let you out, opponent. I'm not going to hold you captive. Good game. Wow. That was wild. Very cool, though. Very cool. We go first. Our hand's a little whack, but I think it's like fine enough. We rip 1 land, Thread Spider kind of connects everything together. That is just 3 steps ahead, I guess. And these, we're trying to act like these are basic lands if we get the opportunity anyway, so it's fine. Market Gnome. The blocker of blockers. The defender of defenders. Okay. No alpha strike from me today. Market Gnome's scared to attack. Rexian. Deep Cavern Bat. Don't look in my hand. We hope they don't take my Thread Spider, but they definitely could. What do we got, opponent? Ooh. We're winners, chat. Let's go. And it has reach. I don't know. I personally like taking this, but seeing them on 2 lands, obviously that's not perfect, but it is what it is. Dude, what a sick gamer. That's pretty nuts, to be honest. I think, sorry, I did not mean to pop into the mic like that. That's absurd to me. I can just play this and just get this off the battlefield. I don't even care about this, to be honest. I would like to make more mana. Sure. Yeah. I could have drawn more cards, but I'm not that worried about it. And I'm not even worried about attacking. He's got a bow to show that he has a bat swatter on it. That's his keyword. See, it says bat swatter right there. What do we got? Hostile Investigator? No. The only reason they were able to cast the last card was because of the fact that this one 100% pick draw if we find a green source. We don't here, which is fine. We do get close to activating this, but I will play a Foundry and I'll play a Thousand Moon Smithy, and we'll be looking to flip it eventually. Honestly, I don't think 1 damage is gonna make or break me. I'm getting in, dude. We're going in. We're aggressive now. I got a Thousand Moon Smithy up online. I'm looking to hit my opponent. Liliana, pretty gross. I think I let Ancient Cornucopia go. Target opponent stacks a creature. I will sack Thran Spider because it's bringable back with the Foundry. Interesting. I could flip all these now, but then this doesn't work. But I don't have anything else to do with my mana, really. I can take out this Liliana, I guess. And I guess that's good enough. Combat. Here. Bonk.
Oh, that's my cue to leave.
This one. Do a little bit of scry action. Market Gnome's pretty cool. These are all kind of cool, but I don't think I need any of them. Pass my turn. I don't know. I could have, again, I could bring this back, but I'm just not that worried about it. Against mono black, artifacts is pretty, like a pretty awful matchup, and I can also activate this here and just get rid of Cornucopia at this point. But Unstable Glyph Bridge has a little bit better value. Maybe I just conceal this card. I don't know. Cut down, go for the third, doesn't work. Long goodbye does. Shoot the sheriff does. But those at most are a 1 of in their deck. Liliana minus works. That's probably a 4 of. Gildred's Edict we saw as well, which is probably a 1 of if I have to guess. So Gildred's Edict could be over the shoot the sheriff most likely. We see another Liliana, sure. Are we plus or minus?
When I win, you're
We minus.
what you know about the raven.
We want to do this now while artifacts are in max. I don't have a green source, and I don't really think I'm looking to pick up a green land here. We'll lose that, which is fine.
One of your friends has
And
to
then this won't work, which is fine. I could flip it and just play synthesizer then, so I have it flipped for next turn at this point. Play Field of Ruin, play synthesizer, make another construct, scry 2. Grand Spider is just good enough. I don't really care about the green mana anytime soon. And we'll call it a day. I have a 7/7. They plus. I lose my Glyph Bridge. Sure. Sure. But the problem is, I think this card is pretty unbeatable, because even if I do draw a dead card, which is what, when you're playing Liliana, your opponent kind of has to draw dead cards when you start getting into that plus action. But with us having this, we'll just activate it. And as the game goes like farther and farther on, it won't actually become relevant. Gildred, that's a good card. Gildred's pretty solid. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I will draw my card. Yes. And then I am on this plan. And now this will enter. We'll make all these constructs. And then I can then Field of Ruin, or I can bring the Thran Spider back. There's a lot of things I could do, but this is definitely going upstairs. I don't care about this Liliana that's on too. I can activate what seems like I can activate this. Do I actually have that much mana? I do. Okay. They take the hit. Maybe have the black card that lets him like scry a ton, or like put a card on top and then draw 3, which works out pretty well for them. This is the point. I'm just gonna pass, and I'll just activate Thran Spider. Maybe they have a board wipe of sorts, which means leaving Thran Spider is better. But if they had a board wipe, I feel like Shieldred would be blocking. But Path of Peril does clean up most of my tokens pretty freely. And just like that, I mean, a matchup that feels... I'm not even sure if I played it super optimally. It just feels like kind of unlosable. I've been on the other side when my opponent plays a synthesizer. It is so hard to get through. You really have to have like the discard effects where you look at their hand, you take the synthesizers out if they're in there, and then hopefully you whittle them down. The hostile investigator makes them discard your last cards and stuff like that. Because if you don't, artifact creatures you cannot beat. Nemesis, did you crash my client? I believe it was you. Yeah, we keep this for sure. I play Mirix to play my Market Gnome. I obviously could use it as a mana later, but I like playing it here because I'm not guaranteed to have to play the Spring-Loaded Trap. I'm guaranteed to have to play the Spring-Loaded Trap. I think our hand's actually set up pretty well. I don't think I necessarily have to worry, so I'd much rather play this Restless Anchorage here and then pass. And then we'll get to play the Synthesizer. Get Lost doesn't remove it. And then I can play a Thran Spider making a construct and then making Power Stone tokens, which they could target with Gleeful Demolition, things like that. But it looks like we have a good chance to get out ahead of this matchup. Being on the play is going to help a ton. But we kind of have to dodge Gleeful Demolition into Knight Errant here. Alright, no Knight Errant, which is cool. I'm not going to respect and hold this up because they could play a Cavern, and that just beats me through. Synthesizer 2.0 is pretty good. Because if we're in a matchup where construct making is the way to win, that's a pretty good way to do it. Okay. 5 damage. Pretty good. Not opposed to it here. And we get that card draw, which is super sick. Um, this is so hard to beat. I thought we were good, but that case is just devastating, huh? I think I have to make 2 blockers here. Or it's just like not even a close argument. With 7 creatures in play, 6 creatures. If they play Amadeus, it's 7. Oh. They haven't made a land drop, I guess. Sure. Gonjo in play. I'm actually perfectly fine with this. Sure. I take it like 8 here, which is not good. What do we need to do here? I can play spring-loaded trap after I play this. But I just, like, that just sucks. But, I mean, it prevents more damage that way, I guess. Play this. I have, like, a turn to turn this around. Like, I really have to present such a board next turn that it's just impossible for me to fall behind. But Ancient Cornucopia can help in that. And I have a spring-loaded trap to help prevent me from dying. Only 2 creatures at most will make contact. Only every creature at most will make contact. Emidane's Recruiter does it. That helps if that's what their plan is. Sure. But realistically, if they attack out and they don't have like a creature to play, if they play Emidane's, maybe they could have drawn it. Okay, I would say they could have drawn Emidane's, but at the end of the day, like, I'd have been a little upset. Yeah, that makes sense. We have to do this. I don't even think I win here, right? Block, 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 shoot, take 2. I mean, I guess I'd live here. Unless my math's off base. Block, block, block. And I have a flyer, I guess. I'm down to 1. Make 2 constructs. If I double attack, they can throw this in front, make 2 flyers, and I'm dead. I can't make a copy here. This can only counter, so I cannot attack here. I really have to set up a win this way. I'm at 1 though. Don't you dare. I have a counter spell. Dick. Gain 1 life. Don't you dare have another Gleeful Demolition. A case gets there too. There's a lot that they could have. Yes, I'll gain my 1 life. Don't have it though. That's what I'm asking. They don't have it. Okay. I'm so stressed out to win this match. Let's play this. We'll gain another life. Alright. If I counter this. So I'm gaining a life here. If I counter this, can I win? So they won't have the block. Or can I force them where they have to kind of quad block? This is going to make 2 more constructs. This goes up. They're all go to 13. They don't even have to block with 3, but they do if I attack out. Right? Because this is going to enter. I'm going to make 3. Alright, I'm going to make 2 constructs. It's going to count. It's going to be 13 13s. I'm attacking. They block. They... Oh, man. I don't want to miss this, but I don't want to count it, to be honest with you. So 13, times 3, that's 50 some. Boy. But it doesn't matter. Like, I'm gonna make more creatures here too, right? So I guess I'm not sure about the math. I'm just gonna let it happen. I don't want to count the math. I have enough to swing 2, right? Because I have enough to swing 1. Great. Sure. I would love to craft this. I just can't. I'm going to go and edit, and then I'm going to count it, make sure I had it, but I don't know if I did. I think they had ways to block out. Me being at 3, just an Imidane off the top. They didn't Gleeful Demolition me last turn. Plus, I gain a life here, so I gained 2 life here, actually. I should be fine. Gain life, gain life. Wow, boys. We're definitely attacking this turn. I'll tell you that right now. I don't even need to math this one. Yeah, I was saying I'm not even mathing this one. They're in there. Okay, so we went back to basically playing Azorius, and the reason I did that is because I kind of just wanted to test it out. I have kind of just abandoned blue-white to play Esper, kind of this, but in Esper we do run into a little bit more mana problems, as we will be getting some of those lands rotated, so we might end up having to kind of call that back and playing Azorius. So I really wanted to start working on it, especially if rotation happens, and this is where we end up overall. But outside of that, I mean, it felt pretty good today. I won some matches that I felt like I probably shouldn't most of the time, like on a red and stuff like that, without playing March of Otherworldly Light. Like, I felt like we were so weak early, and I think a lot of the pressure kind of got saved with Market Gnome, as much as that might seem kind of like a joke, because every time I play him, I'm just like, look, the cute little boy. He's like such a good little gnome waving the red flag. But the amount of times he blocked and just kind of prevented some damage and then gained us a life and then drew a card, helping us dig a little bit deeper to kind of draw out of some spots, was actually pretty nice. And especially whenever it's able to block like a 5 damage creature or something like that. I mean, in theory, you know, it gains us, if you want to count it that way, like if we're not playing it, it gains us like 6 there or something like that. If you count preventing damage, just kind of gaining life, especially how our deck plays out. But other than that, I think we realistically saw how important Ancient Cornucopia can also be in a lot of these spots where obviously the mana is going to be a little bit tough. As you can see over here, I did make it a little bit more apparent to not lose out on these. I did not want to change these. I realized that my deck list was already, like, my mana was already kind of configured. Field of Ruins are rotating. You can just play Demolition Field here instead. Does the same thing. So, like, this isn't a land that's like it. Field of Ruin is rotating. Demolition Field is not. So you can just put Demo Field in that spot if you really want to play those. I do think I'm short on this Vault. I probably should play an additional copy because it's just so good, especially now that I'm not playing March of Otherworldly Light and things like that in here. But outside of that, again, this whole deck's rotation safe. I think we got to see its grind factor a lot. I definitely like it. You could argue that maybe you can play Urzas in these decks at some point to kind of meld with Mycene and Weakstone to just go over the top in a lot of our matches. And I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would probably trim this card with how aggro the meta is currently. Obviously, rotation will have something to say about that. But and it's kind of my fault if you're watching my channel, for people that watch me, I think Mono Black has probably the best odds to come out on top post-rotation, or like a black shell, whether that's splashing green in Golgari or splashing blue for Dimir. Dimir will be a little bit more annoying because they do play like counter spells and stuff, and they're a little bit more creature heavy than Golgari is. Golgari is a little bit slower and allows us to get out there. But this deck kind of just shuts off a lot of their removal by itself, just because Go for the Throat that they'll be playing 4 of, you don't have to worry about. It doesn't kill a single one of your creatures at all because they're all artifacts. You can Go for the Throat's only weakness is that. Other than that, like a card like Farewell will be rotating, so this deck should have like pretty good odds to come out on top at the very end when rotation settles. But obviously, Bloomburrow could say, "Nah, hold my beer, reprint Farewell," and just say, "Nah, we liked it in Standard. We're gonna run it back." So outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed. Regardless, you know I love playing Synthesizer. It's my favorite like deck, probably, whether it's good or bad. I just love making artifacts and kind of doing this kind of nonsense. It's super fun for me. But I hope you all enjoyed it regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.